welcome back. If you're returning, my name is Burr, and if you are a fan of MMOs, RPGs, JRPGs, obscure video games, art, or music, then you should subscribe because that's what we do here. Also, don't forget to like this video because it lets me know you like what I'm doing, and it helps us with the algorithm. And also, one really quick announcement, we are on our way to 800 subscribers. We are almost there. Once we hit 800, I'm going to be doing a super awesome live art stream where I'm going to be drawing art for you guys as a thank you for being so totally awesome and supporting me.
Come to see how we're getting on?
Hi, Viking.
We've made good progress since we took back Alamigo, but there's one big issue we still have to address. Leadership. The Domans had Lord Hien ready and willing to take the throne, but we've got no one like that here. Theodoric was our last ruler, and he wasn't called the Mad King for nothing.
Suffice it to say, our people have had their fill of kings, which means we need to find a new way forward.
If only it were that easy. Everyone and his uncle has an opinion. For the time being, we're just going to have to keep leaning on General Aldin and the Alliance for support, and see if we can't find a solution together. Something tells me we're going to be hosting a lot of meetings in the near future. But if that's what it takes, I'm ready to talk till my jaw aches. The Reach is yours, Nago. Don't do anything I wouldn't.
Aye, aye, Commander.
Ah, there you are. I've been searching all over for you. Don't worry, it's nothing bad. That said, this might not be the best place to talk. Will you join me?
Okay, I'm not suspicious of you at all.
Her face, she's like, oh yeah? It's always bad news when somebody is looking for me. It's never look for something fun and nice.
I'll get to the point. Might you be interested in a spot of adventure?
Huh?
After all, we were adventurers before we were scions, were we not? After routing the Imperials and liberating Alamigo, I reckon we've earned a bit of respite, don't you? And what better way to spend it than by returning to our roots?
Adventure!
So, what say you? Shall we call on Alphino and go adventuring?
Elfie! Yeah. I mean, adventuring is a nice break after saving the world again. Alright then, let's go and find Master Actually, leave that to me. I want you fresh for our little adventure. Wait for us by the Aetheryte and we'll be along shortly. See you there. Alfie, you want to go on an adventure? Greetings, Burr. 'Twould seem we are to accompany Arenvald on some manner of escapade. Have you any idea what we've gotten ourselves into? Allow me to explain. It'll be something of a history lesson, but I'll try to be brief. No snoring, if you please. No promises. Now, the events I would speak of occurred before the occupation, back when Alamigo was still a monarchy and Theodoric sat the throne. A uniquely brutal despot by all counts. But he was. The King of Ruin suffered no rivals, real or imagined, and his dispute with the monks of the Fist ended with Rauger's Reach being burned to the ground. In the latter years of his rule, he was seized by the unshakable belief that unseen forces were conspiring to steal his crown, and so he ordered that every soul with a claim to the throne be executed, including his own family. Wow. Okay. Sounds like a nice guy. The wealth of the poor sons he put to death became the property of the king, and it's said that these royal treasures were hoarded somewhere in the palace. Thus was born the legend of the Mad King's Trove. Ah, I believe I see the direction our adventure is to take. I assume you have a mind to unearth this hidden bounty. You assume correctly. And would I also be correct in assuming that this legend is widely known? Others must surely have gone in search of your prize, tempting as it seems. Well, of course, we won't be the first to make the attempt. Following Alamigo's liberation, more than a few eager soldiers turned the palace upside down in hopes of claiming an easy fortune. But even after scouring every room from dawn till dusk, they uncovered not a single coin. Their gold thus drained away as quickly as it had come, and the legend of the Mad King's Trove remained simply that, a legend. But I see you have no intention of letting the story end there. What self-respecting adventurer would? Imagine the three of us delving into a decades-old mystery. Tell me the thought doesn't set your heart to racing. She says, my heart is racing. The news of Doma and Alamigo's liberation has kindled the flames of revolution in every corner of the Empire. I hear the imperial province of Dalmasca has already risen up in a rebellion, which means the Garleans must surely have their hands full. What better time than now to indulge in such a diversion? Tell us, Arenvald, have we any clues as to where we might begin our search? Well, judging by how the other treasure hunters fared, nosing about the palace isn't like to get us anywhere, so we'll probably need to, ask around. Could that be another way of saying no? Well, yes. I see. In that case, I shall pay a visit to the Allied archivists and request access to the records seized from the Imperials. The Guardians are meticulous about such things. If they uncovered the trove during their occupation, the event is certain to have been recorded. In the meantime, the two of you can track down those who worked as palace servants and officials in Theodoric's day. Given that they would have a...
Have you ever had a dream that you want him to do you so much you could do anything?
Given that they would have been at least 20 at the time, you will be looking for people who've seen 40 summers or more. Anything they can tell you about the king and his bloody deeds may prove useful, so be sure to listen well. Arenvald, pray try your luck in the fringes and the peaks, while Spur makes the rounds in the Alamigan quarter. Ha! And there I was thinking I was the party leader. Not that I mind, of course. Let's be about it, eh? We can meet afterwards at Gilmart's gate. Listen, Alfredo is used to bossing people around. I served at the pleasure of King Theodoric and lived to tell the tale. One of the palace guards I was. Truth be told, it was a dark chapter in my life and one I'd sooner forget. Hardly a night went by when we didn't hear blood-curdling screams echoing from the inner chambers. Which, of course, we were under orders to ignore. So we'd stand still as statues, trying not to imagine what horrors were unfolding within. If you're hell's bent on finding out what happened in the palace, head down the street here and ask old Arenvald. He was the king's head scribe. Hey, Arnold!
Hey, Arnold!
Yes, I am Arnold. What do you want with me? You would have me dredge up some decidedly unsavory memories. Yet, if Alamigo is to move forward, we must needs acknowledge the misdeeds of the past. Very well, I shall tell you what I remember. I take it you know of Theodoric's paranoia and the public executions of his kinsmen. Those were terrible enough, but in his last days the king's fevered mind settled upon an even grislier method of disposal which only a chosen few were unfortunate enough to witness. His Majesty ordered the court thaumaturge to unleash a vile curse upon the remaining members of the royal family, a magic which transformed them into fiends of hideous aspect. The resulting monstrosities were then cast into the darkness below the palace. Even now, my sleep is troubled by nightmares. If others of Theodoric's blood were prone to share his madness, then mayhap it is a kindness that the monarchy ended with him. Since we're all here, why don't we share what we've learned? Allow me to begin then. As promised, I scoured the Imperial records for any mention of fantastic treasures and found precisely none. It is just possible, I suppose, that a corrupt official deliberately hid the fact of the trove's discovery, hoping to enrich himself, but I find it rather unlikely that so valuable a find would stay secret for long. I conclude that our prize either does not exist, or that the Imperials somehow overlooked it. But what of you, Burr? Were your investigations any more fruitful? There be fiends. Turned into monsters? And what could he mean by this darkness beneath the palace, I wondered. I met an old man in Aligiri who spoke of the palace's subterranean prison, but he said naught of cursed abominations. The Imperial archives were also silent on the subject of fiends inside the palace grounds. Could this scribe fellow have been spinning her a yarn, do you think? Did you believe him, Burr? His fear seemed genuine. I don't know if my character is the best judge of character, but, you know. If he was afraid, that does lend credence to the tale, though I'm not sure how that helps us in our search. Do not be so hasty. Ernald's anecdote may very well have told us where the trove is hidden, but ere I share my theory, there is a matter I would clarify. Arenvald, you spoke of light-hearted adventure, but I sense a deeper motive for this expedition. Why are you so intent on finding this treasure? It wasn't all pretense, I swear it, but you're right. My father was in the Imperial Army, a man of Garlean blood. I trust you know what I mean when I say that my Alamigan mother did not welcome my arrival. As I grew, she would check my brow over and over, convinced that a spot on my skin was an emerging third eye, like the kind you see in pure-blood Garleans. My mother did not care for this taunting reminder of my heritage, and took up a knife. War paint serves to cover the scar. Aha. Oh. In the end, she turned me out into the street, and I was left to haunt the alleyways of Alamigo, a feral child who got what he needed through begging, cunning, or worse. The best I can say about the years that followed is that I survived, but I hated the animal I'd become. Eventually I left the city behind me and joined a group of refugees bound for the other side of the wall. It was then that I turned to adventuring, and that road led me into the company of the Scions. I tell you this so that you understand. I know all too well what poverty and hunger can do to a person. I drew steel on ordinary folk for a measly crust of bread. With Theodoric's gold, I could spare my countrymen the shame of living like that. Thank you, Arenvald, and I apologize. That cannot have been pleasant to recall, but I felt it best to be clear in our intentions. Well, Burr, are you content to surrender the treasure to Arenvald's noble cause and claim the thrill of adventure as your reward? Yeah, I'm good on that gold. Then I should be glad to tell you my theory on the resting place of the Mad King's trove, if you are minded to hear it. In case a rival treasure hunter overhears our plans, you mean? Good thinking. That was not exactly the reason, but 'tis certainly a valid concern. Let us reconvene on the southern edge of Loch Seld.
Sure, let's go.
What's your big secret, Alfie? Forgive me. 'Twas not my intention to draw out proceedings. I simply wished to have Locke in sight while I explained things. Sure. Prior to the great flood of the 6th umbral calamity, the salt lakes you see before you were yet dry ravines, and this, believe it or not, was the site of the ancient city of Scala, which rose and fell during the 5th astral era. From what we know of the period, the city was already deserted by the time the waters began to rise, having been all but destroyed by war, yet its ruins remain to this day at the bottom of Loch Seld. It is my belief that the darkness beneath the palace mentioned by Theodoric's former scribe was not a reference to this prison, but to the place still further below, the ruins of Scala. I further surmise that the Mad King's unfortunate kinsmen were cast down there not simply out of a desire to punish them, but to discourage exploration. Theodoric wanted to keep the ruins secure. Aha. Wait, you're saying they were meant to guard the Mad King's trove? That's kind of what I was thinking. Precisely. And since we know the court thaumaturge was involved, we can safely assume that any entrance into the old city will have been magically concealed. Which could explain how a legion of Imperial soldiers and the gods know how many Alamegans never found a trace of the trove. We, however, have certain advantages which they did not enjoy. Burr, would you be so good as to swim down to the bottom of the loch and search for an underwater route into the ruins? While you do that, Arenvald and I will seek out an ensorcelled portal within the palace. Ensorcelled. Would you be so kind, since you can swim? Oh. Getting a phone call. Burr, it's Alfredo. We have searched the prison beneath the palace and found a teleportation portal concealed by enchantments. The markings indicate it leads to an underground cavern. What news on your end? What good timing. And you believe it leads into the ruins? Then I dare say we will be able to meet within. Go on and head through the door. By the way, I took the liberty of calling on a friend for help. I guarantee she's both dependable and discreet. We'll see you soon. Oh, really? Oh, really now? We're going on an adventure. Just like old times. Damn. Tough little while ago. So... You're free, Roderick. Ta-da! Whee! Oh, she's so sad. It is sad. Sad because it was real and that all these people we just murdered, I guess. I'm over here all excited.
Twould appear this place is yet inhabited by King Theodoric's kin, or what is left of them. The work of terrible magics, I fear.
Terrible, aye. But their misfortune is our fortune?
Quite. By the 12, there is even more than I imagined.
Oh, I can't wait to see the look on Lisa's face. Thanks for believing in me, you two.
Man, that was quite the stash. Arenvald and I tried to do our fair share, but I fear you ended up bearing the bulk of the burden as usual. You truly led the way with your adventuring prowess, my friend. Aye, without your help, I reckon we'd still be fumbling about in the dark. I'm glad I called on you. I must say, I am still reeling at the sight of that mountain of riches. What, like how you reeled at the sight of that floating specter, you mean? I wish you could have seen the look on your own face, Alfredo. Must we dwell on such momentary lapses? We found the Mad King's trove, and that is all that matters. At least he was brave enough to come with us. You know, just a little nervous about the ghosty. Hi everyone, thank you so much for watching. Just wanted to remind you real quick to like this video. And also subscribe if you haven't yet, because we're so close to our goal. So close. Also wanted to invite you to check out my Patreon below. The link will be listed in the description. And there you will find just other random stuff. I usually put like rough drafts, bloopers, random art things over there. My thoughts, my feelings. You know, if you're interested, don't have to. It just helps. It definitely supports the channel. Also, I have a Twitch now, so that link will be in the description, as well as the Discord. Come join us if you'd like to chat with us all the time instead of just during the stream. There, I'm planning on doing some like little private Discord streams, and we'll play FF together and other games. You guys will hear about news before anybody else hears about it, so that's free, and you're welcome. And yeah, that's all. Thank you so much, and I will see you in the next one. Bye!